Good evening. Please, can you rename your account with PC?
Good afternoon, sir. This is Abdurrahman.
Ah, how are you, ma? Finally,
Yes, sir.
I've just came in. I've been out and about, so I just.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
I sent message that you should help me send the data to work with.
I did okay. You should. So you didn't get any of the data, the one I resent, because I shared everything.
Again?
Yesterday.
No, yesterday, no, I didn't get, because I just
check your spam folder.
the meeting now.
Check your spam folder, ma.
Okay, let me check the spam folder again. It's not in the spam folder.
Ah.
Should I give you another email address? I don't know, maybe. I don't know what the problem is.
Okay, let's see. All right.
Should I send it, sir?
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. Okay, let's go by sent folder. Okay. Good evening, Engineer Leia. You are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay.
So how has your day been?
Yeah, well, it's all right. It's okay.
Yes, Miss Abdurrahman, and can you give me the email address? Miss Abdurrahman.
RAYNAT. RAYNAT.
NAT.
Then world. WORLD. As renatsworld@yahoo.com.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. What you first get is a second data set.
Excuse me, did you send out new data sets for this week, or we're working on the
No, I'm speaking to her. She's just joining us.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
She's just joining us, so it's not for. Okay, so Engineer Leia, please go ahead. I think it's 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And apologies, I do apologize. I should have sent a reminder out today. Yeah, for me, it's been back to back over the night. I had a lot of engagement, and when I took my laptop out to send it, it refused to connect while I was out and about. So I just came in again now. So Apologies, but I guess that we should, like we announced last week, that this session is continuing today, and hopefully next week, Thursday, we should be able to try and draw it to a close.
Did you say Thursday?
Sorry, next week, Saturday.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Next week, Saturday. All right, please take it away.
All right. Yeah, I guess just a quick feedback from yesterday. I think some people said I was going a bit too fast. So what I'll just do is I'll probably just do a we'll just walk through what we did last week, a quick recap so everybody's on the same page. At least. And I mean, can anybody remind me, what exactly did we cover last week? I think that's a good place to start. Because what I'm going to do very quickly is, I think this was really from maybe day one, I think, but I'm going to spend the next 5-10 minutes just very quickly going through what we did last week. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see the screen.
Okay. So can anybody just remind me? I mean, what did we go through last week? And I'm going to do that very quickly, just so everybody's on the same page, And today, for any reason I'm talking very fast, please feel free to slow me down.
Okay. Last week we merged, I think it was sales 2018 and 2019 into the same.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes,
Okay,
we did that, and then we're able to kind of like drill it down to different levels of view.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the terminology is.
What plots? What plots did we use for the drill down? So, I mean, for the.
We use that arrow thing.
Is it not the filter?
Filter.
No, as in okay. I guess the question is. No, it's okay. I mean, they're all valid answers. I think what kind of charts did we use?
Good question.
We
use line charts.
Line charts.
Fantastic.
And
okay.
I think line charts.
Okay. And on the line charts, what against what did we plot on the line chart?
Revenue against
revenue and
the sales now.
No, I don't.
It was
okay. Revenue and sales versus something. If it was a line chart, line charts are fantastic for for timeline. So it must have been against the other date or something. Okay.
Yeah, the months, the months of
okay.
Yeah, against the income. Which month? So month was it that the income was made?
Okay, that's fine. What's going on with this?
Sorry, I wasn't in section last week. Hello, my brother. So I got a clashed program, so I wasn't able to attend the last week's session. So just I hope I'll be able to fill in properly today anyway.
Okay, I mean that's fine. That's fine.
Yes, sir. Did you get the replay, sir? I sent the replay out.
I got your yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so very quickly, I'm just trying to. This is what we did in day one. Just okay. This is not what you want. I'm just trying to make sure the data in my model is okay. Removing the things I don't need, right? Making sure I have no errors. So that's the table we joined. We had the store location video. Store location file, right?
We are still seeing the.
Oh, what are you seeing, please?
This point at which we do the graphical designs.
Oh, really?
Filter visualization level.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me. Okay. Yeah, I said very quickly, I was going to go through just to plot that line chart, which was the order dates. And we did what, revenue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we said for us to be able to drill deeper, we can lock that, and as long as that suits what we want. And we said we could add another field to this, and that was I think sales. Was that was sales, right? So we can put in sales. And we also said because the order of magnitude of the sales and revenue were quite different, we can put sales on its own axis by simply dragging the sales to the secondary axis right there. Okay, is that looking familiar, guys?
Yes.
Yes, that's what we did. And let me see. And to put this in context, I'm going to just copy this visual and go back to the old page, just so we can have some interactions. So it's the same. This is just a copy and paste exercise, really. Okay. I think we also covered the concept of what are they called again now? Slicers, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So very quickly, let me just add the slicer.
And using the slicer, we look at various states in Texas and
Fantastic.
and the income per region and per which particular store, drilling down to know which store actually brought in what money.
Phenomenal. So we had something like that, right? And we could also click to have multiple values. So we're on the same page now, right? Okay.
Sorry, not
yes.
to pull you back, or can you quickly just show how we merge the two sales 2018 and 19 together?
Okay, that will, because what that will do is to, have a model which is live. Let me see, what's the best way to do this? Okay, let me just let me go to the let me see, what are you seeing?
It doesn't look like I saved the version I did last week, so I don't have the merging anymore.
Okay. Can you see the query editor here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I mean, you have you brought in your sales 2018 and sales 2019 tables? Do you have those two tables here?
On the side, yes, I do.
Okay. So click on one. I mean, have they been cleaned up? Have you promoted the headers? Do you have do you have data types?
Yes, they're all cleaned up, yes.
Confirm the same for 2019 as well.
Okay, hang on a second.
Please confirm.
Yes, for both of them.
Okay, so basically just click on say 2018, then go to, remember, what we're trying to do is to join the data for 2 years, and we're trying to stack them on top of each other. And a stack operation is called append. Right? Okay, because immediately after I explain this, I'm going to show an example of a merge, right? So this is an append. Now, so you have sales 18, so click on append, then go to append queries as new, right? So here you have your first table is the sales 2018, your second table should be the sales 2019. Yeah, put that in, then click OK. That's how you get this a new table, which you can now rename whatever you want, 2018, 2019.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
And once you've done that, you close, you can close and apply, then you go into your model. But very, very quickly, for completeness, I want to show a merge operation.
Before you go ahead, sir,
yes,
I think
sir.
you mentioned that we can only append two tables that have the same rows and the same.
The rules of the rules of appending, they should have the same, ideally, the same number of columns. Right? You're stacking. So it's more like you're adding columns to columns. You're making the table longer. So they should have the same. Power BI can be intelligent enough, to, even if sometimes if they don't have the same number of columns, right? He can figure it out for you. Then you just have a column of null values for completeness. But ideally, you want the same number of columns in both tables. You also want the column names to be the same and to be of the same data type. Does that make sense now?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the merge, I'm going to show you this. I intentionally didn't, I mean, I'll still give Pastor Shola the file after this class to show to you, to distribute to the class. Now, sometimes, remember the append, you're stacking, you're making the table longer, right? But sometimes the operation might require for the table to go wider, right? Now, that's where you have a merge, right? Now, if you look at the store location table, right? Look at the information we have here, right? Now, maybe at the end of maybe the construction department, they want to dig deeper as to the costs associated with some of these stores in different cities, right? Maybe. So they've created another table, right? And that table has the construction costs, building costs, development costs of these stores. And you want to bring it in. You want to merge those two. You want to merge those two tables, right? So I have a table here. It's just the store cost, really. Can you see this? Can you see this screen?
Yes.
You can.
Can you see the store construction costs?
Yes.
Okay, so think about it think about this. Let's have a visual exercise here. In this table, right, I have three sorts of costs: building costs, land and development costs, other related costs, right, and store ID. Now, look here in my query editor. You are used to this table for store location, right? Now, I want to say for this store ID, the first one, S0091, I want to bring in this row into that table. Technically, I'm going to add it to the right. I'm basically going to create, additional columns, right?
Correct.
I'm going to make that table wider.
Correct.
Right? So that is what your merge operation does. So the first thing I'll do is I'll probably first of all import this table, right? Can you see the table?
Yes.
Okay. And the only clean operation I'm going to do here is just to use the first row as a header. And I'm selecting all three headers and trying to detect the data type. Okay. I'm okay. So I've basically brought in the stores construct. Yeah. So now I want to merge it with my store location table, right? So store location, I go to home. Now I'm going to do a merge, right? I want to merge just so I don't disrupt the model I already have. I want to create a new table entirely. I can use the old one and just add it to it. That's fine. But for this exercise, I want to create a new table with the merged values. So let's merge that.
Wouldn't that also be a best practice?
It depends. It really depends, to be honest. There are different scenarios whereby you want to keep mind you, the more new tables you are making, the more memory intensive it is, the slower your model might be, so it just depends on what the scenario is. And sometimes because you can roll back operations by clicking on these applied steps, so sometimes you might want to just click, create new ones in case you have issues. You can just delete that new one. At least you still have the old one somewhere, right? So I'm going to spend a bit of time here. So we have store location, right? We've always had that. And table we want to merge it with is store construction cost, right?
Hmm.
Now, what columns do they have in common?
Store ID.
Exactly. So click on store ID, click on store ID. Already it tells you, you can see that tick sign. The selection matches 144 of 144 rows from the first table. Now, this is the bit I need to explain. And if it doesn't sink in, it's okay, but you are aware of it and you can do further research. It's the concept of joins in table. Is anybody familiar with the concept of table joins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You know about the, or more like, is anybody not familiar with the concept of joins in table, table joins?
I don't think I am familiar with that.
Okay. Okay, I will explain. And like I said, you know, it's this is the fundamental, it's a fundamental concept in database design, you know, how you combine tables, what to do with them, right? Okay, you know, in this case, we've said, okay, the column that is common to both is store ID, right? Are we clear?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
now,
Yes.
if we do a left outer join, right? A left outer join. The way it's reading this is your store location is on your left and your store construction cost is on your right. That's the way it is reading this. So if we do a left join, basically what we are saying is for the column you selected in this left table, you will take everything on the left table, 091, 12, 45, everything, and you keep it, right? Now, if you don't find a matching value on the right, all well and good. We don't care.
Okay.
If you do a right outer join, in this case, it's saying which table is on the right. This one, store construction cost, right?
Yeah.
You to take all the store IDs on the right table, right? And it will now go to that left table. If you find a matching value, it will take the data you want out. If it doesn't find a matching value, all well and good. Now, the most common and
What do you
popular,
mean all well and good? Is it going to add it to it, or is it going to extract it,
Or
or?
does it just discard those values?
Aha.
okay, we're doing a right join, right?
Yes.
If any value on the right table, in fact, all values on the right table will be in your final table. If it has a matching value on the left, it will take it. If there is no matching value on the left, nothing will happen.
Does that mean there won't be duplicates?
There won't be duplicates.
Okay, so it will just take, say we have S0091 twice. It will just take one S0091.
That's a very, very good question. Think about it this way. If you have 1,000 rows on your right table, right? That is the maximum you will have. You won't have any more than that because it will only take columns, right, on the right table. It won't bother itself. I mean, think about it this way. This S0091, right? If my aim is to take the building cost, land development cost, and add it to this store location table at the end. But the only reason why that operation will happen is if the store IDs are common, right? If they are there. If it is not there, it won't do anything.
Okay, okay.
So you are saying it will merge it?
Because I've said take only the right table. That's the only bit I'm interested in. Let me, if I explain the concept of the inner join, it will make a lot more sense before you ask your questions. Now, for the inner join, it will only say, okay, I want only columns that are present in both. Think of set theory in mathematics. It's like an intersection. So S0091 is here, S0091 is here. So it will be in your final table. Assuming I had S0097 here and S0097 is not here, it will disregard that row in its entirety because it is not common to both.
Oh, okay. Isn't that not the better option to use though?
Again, it depends.
Okay.
Because this store construction costs, right? It might have duplicates, it might not have duplicates. Sometimes using a left or right outer join might give you the same as the inner join, depending on how it is configured. But you just need to know what your what the aim of the exercise is. I mean, let's give it a try. If we're going to do a left join, it says 144 rows matched, right? If we're going to do a right, pretty much the same. If we're going to do an inner join, the same. Now, if you're going to do what you now call a full outer join, I guess the way that this table has been configured, it matches. But in theory, you are really going to get different values.
So let me ask a question.
Yes.
What of if we have, like the example you gave, if this is a row of 1,000 and we have like just 50 that match. So are you saying that it is just 50 rows that it's going to add to the tables we have up there?
Okay,
it will leave 950 rows.
I like that question. So the table, I mean, if follow along with me. Your question, the table on the left has 50 rows, right?
Okay.
The table on the right has 1,000 rows.
Yeah.
Right? If you do a right outer join, your final table is going to have 1,000 rows.
Okay.
If you do a left outer join, your final table is going to have 50 rows.
Maximum of 50, or it must be 50.
It will be 50.
Okay.
Everything on the left will be represented.
Okay.
Now, whether what is on the left has a matching value on the right, it doesn't matter, but you get 50. It's either if it matches, you get a value. If it doesn't match, you get a null, but you have the 50. Now, if you do an intersection, right? Really,
Yes.
you don't know what you're going to get. That's where you now start saying, okay, can I find the same row on the left and on the right?
Okay.
It is now what is common to both. It is now what is common to both tables that you will get.
Okay.
Now, because in our case, right, we have a store location table, which we've been using, which pretty much guarantees that we have all the stores, right? We can do a left outer join just to guarantee that all the stores in our stores table, we will get the construction costs for them. So if I do an okay, you can have, you see the merge, right? Now, basically what that has done is this new column can be expanded. These are the new columns I'm bringing in to this table. If you click on that, it's now telling me what exactly am I bringing in. You know, in that our stores construction table, we had this 4 columns. So you can actually pick what you want to bring in. We don't really need to bring in the store ID, right? That would be duplicity. All we really need are just these building costs, right? And from a naming perspective, you can use original name, column name as prefix. We'll see what that looks like. So if you now do an okay, see what happens. Can you see that now? We've brought in 3 columns from our stores construction table. And the only reason why they are coming in is because, you know, the store ID is common. But we did a left join. So you basically brought in everything in our old store location table, and it found the construction costs. It pulled it. Do you guys know the concept of VLOOKUPs in Excel?
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. It's almost it's something like that, where you have two tables and based on one, you are fishing for information on the other. So we now have these 3 new columns. Does that make sense? Does the merge exercise make sense theoretically?
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
Okay, at least, with merge, where basically, the table is getting wider, and with your append, you are stacking it, your table is getting longer, right? And
Yeah.
and very quickly, before we move on to some visualizations, I just want to touch on the concepts of pivoting and unpivoting. And the best way to explain this is just to give you an example. You see these 3 new columns we have, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so we have how many? We have 3 columns, right?
Yeah.
For reporting purposes, it might be inefficient, right? You might want to unpivot this.
I'm
So
doing of learning this vocabulary in the next 3 months. Apologies.
I'm selecting these 3 columns, just these 3 columns. Just watch. Remember your column headers: building costs, land and development costs, other related costs, right? I'm going to unpivot these columns. Can you see what has happened?
What is the meaning of unpivoting?
Okay. It's really a
Looks
way to
like-
transform data, right, from a wide to a skinny format. That's the layman's terms.
So it just looks like it's merged everything together because it now says store, construction cost, building cost.
Basically, if you look at this, if I try to do a filter now, you have the 3, remember those 3 columns we had, right? You can have them there and the value. The point I'm trying to get at, just imagine you want to visualize something, right? Maybe building costs, land and development costs, related costs as a column. It's easier for you to do it with these 2 columns than it was before.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Think of this city. Look at this city column, right? This is what we are used to. This makes sense, right? Imagine you had 100 cities and each city had a column. That's inefficient, right? So you can basically compress let's say it was states, the 52 states in America, which would have been 52 columns with the associated data. You are able to unpivot it to just 1 column. But in that 1 column, you have your 52 options. Does that make sense?
So it stacks them together into
Yeah.
one.
Does it kind of like stack them? Like if you're doing a chart, you probably do like a bar chart for them and stack them on top of each other?
No. It just depends on the way your data is presented. Like I said, unpivoting means you're basically transforming data from a short, wide to a tall, skinny format.
Okay.
The other way, before we unpivoted it, it might have served our purpose. It might have. But I'm just trying to pass across the concept of if you want to pivot, it's just the reverse operation as to the unpivoting.
Can we look at visualization with pivoting and without pivoting? Maybe that would help.
Okay. I'm conscious of time.
If it's not possible, I'm just thinking, because
Yeah, we could to be honest, but I'm just more conscious of the time. Let me unpivot. Let me see. Let me just do this. Okay, let me explain. Remember this. Can you see this?
Yes.
This was before we unpivoted. This was what we had. So think about it. Assume you wanted to, right, let me just rename this. This will make building costs. Land and development costs. Okay, you have these 3 columns now. There's nothing wrong with it. Is there?
No.
But what I'm trying to explain is, imagine you had 20 different kinds of costs. You're going to have 20 columns, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So why not have 2 columns that one column takes care of all the costs and one column takes care of all the values?
So sorry, sir. It's like one of the when you was on pivoted, if I can use that word.
Yes.
That column had all
the costs
together. You
Yes.
have merged all the costs together, then the associated figures to another column. That's what it is.
Fantastic. That you've hit the nail on the head. Because typically, if you have a data entry clerk, right, this is probably what they'll do for you. Building costs, they'll give you everything, for each store ID. This is typically the way a data entry clerk will enter it. But it's now up to you to as the analyst, right, to reconfigure it in a better way. Does that make more sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes,
Basically.
Okay. So you are now
it just makes it leaner.
exactly. That's the yeah. That's in layman's terms, you're basically turning your rows to your columns, right? That's what pivoting and unpivoting
So
is.
what are the values in each of the cells?
Yeah.
How do you retrieve the values?
Okay.
How are you going to be sure that what is in this particular cell is still what we are able to retrieve later after matching it?
I like that. It's let's test it. So we have this, right? So let's start with the very first one. This 22055562, right? You are very sure that's the building costs, Abi?
Yeah.
So it's just to check it really. It's the building costs for what? Is that S0012?
Yeah,
right?
0012.
Okay, so it's let's unpivot that. What's that?
Building
See?
the
And remember, before you unpivoted, S0012 was actually the first, maybe first or second row, but it has reordered it, but the values are still intact.
Yeah.
So that's your proof right there.
Yeah. All right. So.
Okay, so we've learned the concept of merging, and we are also now familiar with, at least at a very basic level, the concept of joins, right? And pivoting and unpivoting. Yeah. It's actually a very common thing in Excel, actually, this concept. So it shouldn't be okay. I'm okay with that. Let me delete that model. Let me close and apply. Okay, close and apply. Okay. We have one more class next week, right? Dr. Ajile?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was going to do DAX today before, but I think it's worthwhile spending more time on visualization.
It's not the DAX you say you were going to do today before.
Yeah, but it was it was meant to be our final class, but since we're having another class next week, we can do the DAX then. Okay, for today, we just want to delve deeper into the concept of having tables, customizing them, and having conditional formats. So let's create a table. Say, where are we? Okay. I want to have a date. Okay, so I've just dragged in my dates, right? Remember the concept of date hierarchy, which we talked about, year, quarter, month, and day. Now, I might not like the way this is looking, right? The only way to fix it is to go click on dates. Once you click on dates, this comes up here. I mean, this comes up. Now, you can now change it to whatever date type you want. For example, if I want my day of the week, so I'm expecting a short date. Okay, what's going on? Right now it's using the date hierarchy, but I just want my regular dates. Or that's the name of the column, other dates, right? That makes sense now. And now I can do my dates in any format I want, short format, if I want a day of the week. Is that clear? This is just, formatting your dates, right? Now let's add revenue into this. What else can we add? I have a question.
We need to know which store produce those revenues and what dates, so we can see that on this date, this store had the highest revenue.
Okay, but mind you, you have a lot of stores, so let's do stores.
Is it by states?
Okay, maybe let's do state. State might just be a bit easier. Now, because we've done state, first of all, let me remove state first of all. I want to nail down this concept. Now, look at what's going on here. On a particular day, this is the revenue. Now, the aggregation format here is sum.
Yeah.
Right? So it doesn't distinguish, anything that happens on that date, revenue-wise, it's giving it to you. Now, if we go with Dr. Ajide's desire to have the states, look at what's going on now. It's now broken it down by the different states. So your table is now a lot longer. So in theory, the 739 we saw was probably the addition of everything on that day.
And it's showing some store that didn't make any sales.
Exactly, makes sense. Yeah, perfect. That's well spotted. Okay, let me take the state out. Now, let's say we wanted to find the number of say transactions in a particular day. How do you think we'll do that?
That would be the store ID.
Fantastic. I think I've actually okay. I think it's this the other ID, right?
Yeah.
But look at this other ID. It is saying sum. That doesn't make sense, is it? Does it?
No, it doesn't, because it's summing all the orders. So you need to.
These are other IDs. They're just random 6-figure, 5-figure numbers. Unique other IDs. You really can't sum them. Instead, what you should do is to do what? You should count them.
You count it.
So by default, Power BI always gives you what? A sum. But for this purpose, we want to have the number of transactions. So we change it to what? A count. And this makes more sense now, doesn't it? So let me rename those columns.
Sorry, you had counts. When you picked counts, there was a count district. What is the difference between count district and count?
Maybe what you saw was a count distinct.
Oh, distinct. Okay, distinct.
Anytime you see the distinct keyword, you are basically trying to eliminate duplicates.
Okay.
So for example, if you apply that on a column that has 100 items, right? But you want to find the distinct number of items. So maybe you had a bicycle, car, aeroplane, right? But you have it, multiple times 100. If you do a count distinct on it, it's going to give you 3 because it has filtered out all the duplicates. But if you do a normal count, it's going to just give you 100.
Okay.
But in this case, we want to have a count, right? Okay, so in case we don't like our column headers in this our table, we can do number of transactions. I can put this in all caps. Sorry, just capitalize it. Okay, so we have our table here, right? Nothing special, but from a visualization perspective, it can be better. So let's go into the format table. Right now, this is the default style. You can go minimalistic if you want. You can go, you get the idea, right? But let me do a default. But most importantly, I want to do conditional formatting, whereby from a visual perspective, right, you don't really need to go through the numbers, just from a visual perspective. Let's have Power BI reconfigure the design just so we can say, okay, if the number of transactions is high by a color code or by a symbol, we can identify it. So we're still under the format table here. I'm looking for conditional formatting here. Right? Now, what column do I want to have that conditional formatting on? Definitely not the date. So it might be your revenue or number of transactions. So let me pick number of transactions. Now, what I'm saying is for number of transactions, can I have a color? You see that? And you can reconfigure this by going into advanced controls. Can you see this?
Change the color even there.
Exactly. So I'm guessing, I mean, this is intuitive enough, right? And you can even set your minimum. Right now, it's taking the minimum, the lowest value to be whatever is the lowest there and whatever is the highest, it's intuitive enough. You can change your colors. Sometimes you want to add data bars. And again, you can configure that to be whatever you want. If you don't want to, have figures on it, if you say show bar only, it does that. That might not be intuitive enough, but let's take that off. You get the gist. Again, you can have icons. So here you can configure the rules. Maybe you have a limit, you have a target, and you have to show different signs.
So what are these icons representing?
It's up to you, really. I mean, let's say, okay, let's break this down, right? I'm saying from a percentage perspective now, right?
Okay.
Now, before I go to that one, let's see let's sort this out. So we see
it's showing 0 to 33, kind of like a traffic light then. So it's showing green, amber, red.
You're right. Okay, I've sorted out this column. So the maximum number of transactions is 180, right? Okay, so if I go to my icons, right? So it's saying, I'm not sure what the minimum is. Let's just assume the minimum to be maybe 1 or 2 or something.
I understand what it's about now. I do.
Splendid. So you get the message. That's why your heavy hitters are coded, with your round traffic lights. And you can change that to anything. Your company can have their own icon and do stuff with it as well.
Yeah. I'm thinking that
All
would be
right.
kind of good if you're kind of like trying to flag out, the best performers or not, like, in terms
Yeah.
of
Or
number of
the
transactions and
exactly,
Yeah.
or the ones that are not performing, put
trying to
your red
research
lights. Exactly. So that's your table for you. I mean, it's a very simple tool, but it can also be very, 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 very effective.
So the key thing, because I tried to look at all these things we're doing, all these somersault or is the fact that one should have on the thinking of the chief executive of the organization, trying to look at making decisions, knowing performance, which particular business is center or cost center is meeting the KPIs or not meeting the KPIs, isn't it?
That's splendid. I mean, again, for different organizations, right? Reporting is done maybe at a weekly or a monthly level, right? And sometimes even before it gets to the what's called the chief executive, right? It might be your customer, let's put it that way, might be somebody in another department, who needs that information before it even gets to the board level. I'm pretty sure the C-suite, they don't want to see all this. They probably want to just say, okay, who are your top 3 performers? What's going on? Just a brief summary, an executive summary. But yes, you're right. It's really driven by your KPI. That's the major driver. Spot on. And before we go, I said we're going to revisit the concept of, the way I've been doing my filtering, I've just been dragging and dropping and using
Just
slicers.
to add to what you are saying, that's
Yes.
what I just meant.
Oh, yes.
My first point, sometime, was it last year, when I was trying to understand Power BI and I look at it, that this particular could also be used in various contexts. There was a particular company I was looking at then, which was into freight forwarding. So you're looking at, it's all the same thing, but looking at different contexts of the time it would take the delivery of goods from one area to the other and still being shown graphically. So the point I'm making that is that what we are looking at here is looking at performance based on the amount of money or revenue. In another industry, it could be the shortest time of delivery of products. If it is like ASCO, for example, organization that does freight forwarding.
Oh, definitely.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, you're spot on. You're spot on. Very quickly before we go, I mean, I guess this actually ties in perfectly with what you said. I haven't used much of this filters pane. Not because I don't want to, but this is why anyway. The filters pane, think of it as what you, the Power BI developer, will use to filter, right? But the slicer here is typically what the user, the end user of your dashboard. If you send this to somebody, they can quickly do this, right? So this is for the user, the end user, but the filter, the filter is actually for you, the developer. So let's run through very, very quickly, I have revenue by state here, right? Have I done some filtering here? Okay. Let me just remove everything. Okay. All right. So, let me even remove the slicer just so we're not confused. So, what do we want to filter by? Anyone? We can filter by state, right? And on this page, you drop that there. Now, just like your slicer, you can do that, and do that. Based on what looking for advanced filtering.
You want a drink? I thought that you want to take it. 15. Where is your cup? Oh.
Okay. This is not intuitive. I was basically just going to drag in the states and just show that, okay, if, for example, you don't want your user to be able to, use slicers, which you don't put, but you want to pre-configure what the filters looks like, this is where you do it. And the way it's done is you click on the visual, right? Or if you're on a particular page, it's intuitive. Filters on this page, filters on all pages. So sometimes you might have a multi-level report, a multi-page report rather. And if you want that filter to be to affect either the page or the direct visual, you do that here. Does that make sense? Are we clear on that, on the filters pane?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's it really. I think now we're masters of visualizations now. So next class, we're going to go into DAX. It's
Is it possible?
yes.
I wouldn't know if you think we have to arrange how create a dashboard with all this.
Oh yeah, we'll look at that next week. I mean,
Okay.
these are reports, right? These are basically reports, right? But think of your dashboard as a snapshot, whereby maybe what you need is just this one, just maybe 2 tables here, 1 table from another page, and just have a 1-page snapshot, which can be emailed or sent company-wide. That's the concept of dashboards. These are reports. And dashboards, right, are done not on Power BI desktop. It's more for another level, another service called Power BI service.
Okay.
Yeah, look at that. But yeah, so the aim of this exercise is just to be, to be comfortable, in the reporting side of the section of it, trying to bring things in. Are you merging? Are you appending? I mean, think about it this way. Say you've created a live dashboard, right? And it's connected such that the more data you are getting in, right? Your dashboard keeps changing. Does that make sense? So if they go to refresh the dashboard and you've configured the model such that, the more the data is coming, you are appending or you are merging, and on a daily basis or weekly basis, you do a refresh. And your dashboard keeps changing. That's really where Power BI comes, that's really where it shines, where you can actually have a data pipeline, as they say.
Interactive.
Yeah, it's interactive, yeah. But how about, if I'm getting data on a continuous basis? So say maybe I have an alert to say, okay, once revenue hits a mark or falls below a mark, can somebody send an email to all concerned that we are not meeting our target, we are meeting our targets? It's things like that. Next week, we'll also look at this this visual called a gauge, really. So think about that, But yeah, so it's I think it's a bit of a repetitive one, but I think it's just to enforce certain concepts. Has anybody tried looking up other topics? I mean, there are lots of user materials on YouTube, Udemy that you can go through. It's a very big tool.
Yes, I have.
Okay, at least you can do your screen side by side, you know, whatever they are doing, you are doing it as well. You know, you can go with them. Okay. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, lecturer one.
No, you know, ASU is on strike, so please, we're not using lecturer anymore.
So what are we using now? Tutors.
Tutor.
On strike. Even the UK are on strike. So
Tutor,
lecturers are on strike.
It's tutor, please. It's tutor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
I think we really want to thank you. And when we were having this dream last year, it's quite, well, we wondering how it will be, but you could see just 3 sessions. And I think all of us, we have confidence, particularly when it comes to the ETL.
Yes.
The common technology ETL, you are able to explore, you are able to transform, and you're able to load the data, you're able to clean the data. And the major work, or when it comes to dealing with data as a data analyst, is your ability, like what our engineer teacher told us, is the aspect of cleaning the data. Because if your data is not clean, what's the essence? At the end of the day, you're going to get garbage in, garbage out, the wrong, or maybe you're going to have a lot of errors. So thank you so much again for today. So God willing, next week, Saturday, we would round everything up. And then we'll now be thinking of, already we are having a conversation of thinking of what next, what topic to tackle again. Our desire is that you will be able to use this skill that you have. You can go on your LinkedIn profile to put something there that you are able to use this skill. It will open up work opportunities for you. That's our goal and our desire, that you'll be able to use this knowledge to get a job, upskill, or become more valuable in your organization, so that you can be able to get more, you know, that particular saying, the more you learn, the more you earn. So if you want to earn more in 2023, you need to learn more. And with this knowledge we have gained, we believe that each and every one of us on this system will be able to earn more and shine and continue shining. All right. On that note, thank you so much to our instructor, our facilitator, who has been able to show us all these things. And I will share again this video, the link with us to be able to look at, and we'll wrap it up everything next week as he has told us. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.